Let me ask you a question, Guy. So we're officially in January. Nja for hunger. Nja is a Swahili word for hunger, by the way, so we always call it January. January. My question is this. What is it about Jan that makes it 57 days? I've failed to understand it. Year in, year out.
Yeah.
However much I try to plan for in January, it still feels like 3 months in one.
Man, you see, because we eat life, and I mean it literally.
With a big spade.
With no...
In December.
With no
regard.
Reasoning, no regard, reckless abandonment in December. We go through so much during the year, Marcus. January, February, March, April, life is tough. You're trying to manage things. Okay, you have Thanksgiving, you have Easter. Yes. But then at the end of the year, December falls in and you say, you know what? I deserve
to treat myself.
You forget about the children's school fees. You forget about rent. You forget about expenses for just general up.
Let me tell you, the funny thing is, I've had this conversation with very number of people, and we tell the guys, before you eat December money, solve January problems. So okay, before you eat, so that you spend what's left, so that January.
So be organized.
Yes, be organized. And the guys like, Marcus, I actually did it. I paid rent for Jan, I paid school fees, and I even kept aside some small money.
Yes.
Then, somehow still, that small money I had kept away, knowing very well that there's nothing I'm going to be doing that's celebratory in January, I still had like 45 days after that money was done. So I don't understand how January can be that long.
Man.
But what is it about Jan that makes it feel so long?
The second day of January.
I think I know the reason why. Yeah. People get money early in December, that's why. Those who earn are paid by the 15th.
Because guys want to settle you and go
on holiday. So that money that you get on the 15th is supposed to last the 15 days of December remaining, plus the 45 days of January. So that's why it feels so long. I don't know.
I was going to say, the second day of January 2nd, it's already January 11th.
Yeah.
11 days of good
in your head. The spend you've gone through already like on 11th. Yet you still have a whole 29 days to manage.
Jesus. I try to manage and try to budget myself, like you said, the month before.
Clear all those things.
But it's a trap. And then there's friends and there's family.
Yeah.
And you want to also spend on them and make them happy. And
it's a lose-lose.
You can't beat it.
You can't beat it. I don't know what solution we have. I think we just have to take care. This month, like Chagwaran says, Buriome akorechi. Agumye munne.
Be strong for
your birthday, because it's going to be a rough one. This one, prepare yourself.
And the tax man is not going to forget about you.
If anything is coming out harder,
the man has geared you like this. Yeah. When the tax man reaches into your pocket,
they're taxing everything.
He goes down and he even brushes your penis on the way down to take your money.
Even does like this on your nuts.
If you could take the nuts,
you'd have gone with them. And you're speaking of the tax man, if I was to ask you, and I'm going to ask you this, and this goes to even the crew, if you were to see anything change for the better or change generally in 2023, mostly local, I would ask you this is a reference to mostly local, but you can give me an international one if you can. What would it be? What is the change you want to see this year?
Oh, I think I would want our parliament, our bloated parliament, to be reduced by at least half.
What do you think that will change?
We spend a lot of money on our parliamentarians.
Mm-hmm.
And with all due respect, I know you're going to say, whenever I say with all due respect, that means I don't respect.
You're going to disrespect in just a moment.
Our parliament is so bloated. We spend so much money. And I think it was General Otafide, who was saying it last year. We spend so much money for an economy and a country that's so small
and so poor.
We spend more
than we should
on our parliamentarians, paying them, than we would for an economy for example, that of Britain, which has less MPs, and yet look at ours. So I would reduce. We have over 500 MPs. Doing what?
Managing your issues. Yeah.
Over 500 markers.
No, I mean I agree with you. I'm just pulling your leg. I think.
And I know it's not about to change. I know that's not about
if anything,
to change.
we might reach 700.
You might even get more at this rate. How about you?
No, for me, it's Kampala roads.
Our roads? Just Kampala?
Kampala accounts for slightly 60 to 65%. TK, correct me if I'm right. 60 to 65% of our GDP, of the country's GDP, comes from Kampala. We lose about 3 to 4 hours a day in traffic that could have been spent making money. 3 to 4 hours of those days is one, poor planning, but very more importantly, our bad roads. That time spent in traffic because of a terrible road could be time earning more money.
So here you are talking specifically about infrastructure.
Of roads, not rail, not what. The second thing, if you ask me, will be the borders. I think they also need to move and go.
But they were working on that last year, remember?
Yeah, but now this year we need to implement. Because evidently there's a plan, we're just taking our time to implement it. So I think that if we make a concerted effort as a nation to fix those roads, the taxman would be happier. Because people will be doing a lot more work because they're spending a lot less time in traffic, which means you'd have a lot more money to make. Everybody wins.
Actually, last year with the rains, the potholes became
Crater lakes.
Thank you very much. Crevasses.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I don't understand how this is not something that you see, because we actually do spend a lot of time maneuvering that stuff. That's time we could have spent working. If I could have had 5 meetings a day, I'm reduced to 2.
They'll tell you go and have Zoom meetings.
Again, we're dealing with, some of us who deal with people who don't understand Zoom things. You have to go,
look me in the eye. Body
language. This is corporate stuff. That's where the Zoom thing works. But real guys want one-on-one. And you can't make it.
You are forced to change, Marcus. It's a changing world. We live in a digital world. Even our portals have become digital.
Yeah, for me that's one thing I think we need to.
Okay.
We need to fix quickly.
I don't know where we are with our debt. All I know is that we are heavily indebted. Our debt, we keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. I wish we could reduce on our debts somehow. I don't know how. I'm not an economist, but every single time I'm hearing debt. I think if we could reduce on our debt and increase on our exports, so I have a bit of economics in me. Just a little bit. I wish, because...
But do you know how our exports increased last year? They actually did.
They did. They went up.
Yeah.
If we could do that somehow, because all we're doing is indebting ourselves, and if not worse, we're indebting our children. And that brings me to my next thing. One thing that I wish we would change and push more for has to do with how we treat our environment for the sake of the
children.
The climate conversation. We had it last year, but I mean, whether it's planting trees or whatnot, because right now it is about climate. We have fucked things up so badly, and I wish the mindsets of government could nurture and push towards that.
Can we first ask our Ugandans to leave the caveras alone? Can we start there? Then we shall get to government.
Well, they did. Didn't they say the size of your polythene bag must have about how many microns?
I'll send you now, guy. I'll send you now to go and buy a Rolex. And these days, which amazes me, by the way, these days, they don't roll the Rolex in a cavera. They'll roll it in a piece of paper or a newspaper, but then they'll give you a cavera to call all of them in. I'm like, so how have you helped?
Anyway, that would be my...
Okay.
That would be my other one.
Yeah, I think, me personally, like I said, the borders need to go.
Do you have anything international, perhaps, away from
I do, but I'm not sure if I can say it.
Marcus, we're in 2023. Really, you're a grown man. Speak your mind, speak your heart with balls. Speak.
That might have a bit to do with balls.
Hey.
No, on a serious note, though, and this goes to the international community. I have nothing against the LGBTQXYZPV community. You know who I mean.
You threw in letters that aren't there.
Yeah, but you know who, those ones,
yeah.
XYZ. I have nothing against them. My issue with the international community is trying to shove it down our throats.
When you say shove down our throats and LGBT,
It can be misconstrued.
don't say shove down our throats.
Yeah. Anyway, so I honestly believe that those who subscribe to that way of life should be given a chance to do so. Those who don't should not be
Forced
or
spoon-fed
or looked bad upon. If I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. It's okay. Those who do will come, and we won't judge them for it. My issue is it's literally being, for lack of another put it, shoved down our lives, our throat, everywhere you look, to indoctrinate our kids. But why?
You know,
If you guys, that's how you want to operate, by all means.
the LGBTQTSMARCUS.
Yeah, PTQ community.
The MARCUS.
It's US. Anas.
They have money. So when you're having this conversation about the alphabet, when you're having this conversation about people in that, and it's fine, I agree with you, do your thing. When you say, no, the next thing you hear is that we shall cut funding if you don't push this agenda or that agenda. And they have money, Marcus. So are you self-defeating? Are you shooting yourself in the foot? And you should be okay with it? You say, okay, fine. And don't forget, we have oil that's coming very soon. It's not our oil, it's the president's oil.
So, but we can say this.
Because we have our money.
Because now we'll have our money.
His money, which is...
It'll be ours. We shall use it.
But they have money, Marcus.
So what are you saying? You're saying that you agree with me or you don't? Or we're damned if we do, damned if we don't?
I think the latter. We're damned if we do and damned if we don't. If you can stand on your own 2 feet, you can tell
Like Qatar.
Like Qatar.
Tell them, guys,
It's okay.
do your thing when you are there. But now you're in my town.
Now you're in my country. You saw what they did the World Cup?
Yeah.
You can't be with a drink booze
This
at the World
nonsense.
Cup.
Like,
You can't come unmarried and be in here. You have to be married. Because they have their own money. When somebody comes to your home, Marcus, they don't tell you how to run your home because it is your home.
Running it your way.
Run it your way. But if you're a beggar,
But you see,
if you're a beggar,
Yeah, if you're a beggar, you're in trouble. But this is why I said that I'm not speaking as a Ugandan, no, I'm speaking on behalf of Uganda, telling them, by the way, if you and your methods of operation. No, I'm just saying, if you guys want to operate like that, and me, I don't, I should not be castigated for not wanting or not believing in it. Don't shove it down my throat. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, do you, I do me. It's not a crisis.
maybe don't use the word do me.
Yes, no, do, but that's what I mean literally. Do you the way you want to. Let me do me the way I want.
Doomingly somehow.
Somehow, but the way I want Lee. So for me, internationally, that's why I think I would beg of the international community, just leave us alone.
Okay.
Leave us.
All right.
You know what I mean?
The alphabet will be the alphabet will be the alphabet.
Yeah, we'll do what we want to do. Oh, something else I want us to try and focus on, if we can, that I want to change this year is, I don't know how we can. So the East African community is something that I'm personally very passionate about. And I think you should be too, because you've lived and worked in most of them. And I think you see the benefit of it coming to life. And I think that if we, and I see a lot of it now, I see a lot more less pressure for Ugandans Kenyans coming here, Ugandans going to Kenya. They're not so strict on work permits anymore. You can sort of work easier than it used to be.
Right.
Rwanda is now back open again.
Recently, who joined Congo?
Yeah, the DRC recently joined. So we have a lot of potential as the EAC. So this year, things I would like to see change is how do we take this to the next step?
How do we become a more robust East African community?
How do we start trading more together? How do you open markets for each other? If you're a guy who sells tomatoes and Congo is short, how do they make it easy for those tomatoes to get to Congo? How do, you know what I mean? How do we benefit from the region?
The only way that can work, Marcus, is if you first sort out what's in your home. If your home is a mess.
Okay. So I disagree.
No, if your home is a mess, and then you are trying to introduce a bigger setting or a bigger community, which is fantastic, but you're a mess here, and then you bring it all together. What does it have? It's one big poo-poo. So all you're doing is creating a bigger problem for yourself. Yes, trade will be better, maybe, but you're also creating a very big problem for yourself, in my opinion.
So this is the thing. First of all, no East African country is okay.
Fair enough.
All of them are full of poo-poo. Every single one of them. One more than the other. You know what they say about when shit hits the fan? It's not spread equally. Some get more, some get less, some get nothing.
I hear there's a but coming.
Yeah, but the idea behind getting everybody to work together, even in our disorganization, allows for everybody to grow. Because for as long as we are disorganized individually, that's exactly where we shall stay. But if my disorganization is not your disorganization, me, I'm disorganized at a bloated parliament. You're disorganized at other things. But when we come together and say, by the way, you know I can help you with that problem. Just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. It has worked here. You say, okay, no. But in the process, both of us are making money. Then I realize, by the way, that problem that you have with that thing, that one I can fix for you easily. Because as people generally, we don't know what we don't know. So if we come together, sit on a table and say, we get together, solve, but as we grow together, we fix. If we have a complete common ground, bare standing, the problem is that at that level, there's also a dick measurement contest.
And dicks get measured.
So if we remove that out of the room, which I don't think will ever happen, but hey, we can only wish, and we get into let's actually grow this thing, it's very easy and everybody wins.
And in doing that, one of the lowest hanging fruits, one of the biggest problems that I think are very central to all of this, corruption.
Yeah.
If we can somehow harness the power of corruption, if we can harness that, and it's powerful, Marcus.
So here's the thing.
If we can harness that energy and somehow convert that energy that we put into corruption.
Into eating. Into working.
Into working, Marcus. My God, where we would be today. You look at Congo. I think Congo should be the Switzerland of Africa. The mineral wealth that they have, those guys should be living lavish lives. And I mean everybody. But look at their state. Look at Uganda and the amount of money we lose to corruption every single year. And yet you have these different bodies fighting corruption. And so I can go on and on and on. But there's corruption everywhere. But ours is so blatant.
So here's the thing. So apparently in East Africa, the country that has fought corruption the best is Rwanda, which was to my point. So Rwanda will sit us down and tell us, this is how I fought corruption. But when we are on a table and say, if you want to fight corruption, this is how I've done it. This is how you can do it.
How can you fight corruption when you have somebody who will say, hey, don't come down too hard on those people who are corrupt because they'll take the money away and take instead of building hotels? How?
Again, I've told you, Rwanda will lead in the conversation in the region. The same way we will help Rwanda in other things where they are stuck. So this conversation we can have, but when we have agreed that we're going to have it, and we're going to have it bare. I'm not going to be honest with one another. I will help you where there's a challenge, you help that guy, you help me, and we will all grow together. Yes, we are not the same economies, but whatever the economies are today can double for everybody.
Yes.
If we work together.
Oh, flip the presidents.
Hey, you know, some of these crew members have very good ideas. What if we took presidents and said, right, you, come here, we rotate them?
You know, Binwell, that's the plan, eh?
No, I'm not talking about East African Community President. I'm talking about Sevo goes to Rwanda, Kagame goes to Kenya, Ruto goes to Burundi. Who's the guy in Burundi?
That guy.
The Burundian president goes to Congo, and the guy of Congo comes to Uganda.
Where does Salva Kiir go?
He stays in Sudan, South Sudan. On the toilet.
We left this last year.
That's too funny, dude.
We left it last year. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
Yeah, of course, rotation of presidents in the East African community is very important.
Yeah, that one when it's one state.
Yes.
The idea is one would rule for the year.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know if that would ever work, but the more important thing is before we even get to that part, we need a common currency.
Last year, the East African Legislative Assembly was talking about a central bank of the East African community.
It's in the pipeline.
It's in the pipeline, blah, blah. And one of the things they talked about was a common currency. One common currency. Like how you have
the EU.
The euro.
The euro.
You go to Belgium, you go to the UK, you go to France, you just pull out your euro, boop! Same, draw.
It's accepted, it's received, it's legal tender.
But, okay.
And it's working away, and they're supposed to be done by 2025 because they're supposed to do regional integration. Then they do removing of borders. Then they increase trade. There's an actual agenda. Then they do political integration. Then I think currency was the last. Currency integration was the last. No, currency then political.
Okay.
Because after you sort out trade, then you know GDPs, then you put a common currency that's then equivalent to the currency power of each nation.
Right.
So the euro has a different exchange rate with the pound sterling, has a different one with...
So wait a minute. Would that mean we still keep our local currencies?
Yeah.
But we
just add another one.
The EAC
shilling.
I
don't know how that would work for France because they use francs.
Yeah.
All the rest of us use shillings.
Right.
Well, I don't know what Congo uses.
They use the
dollar? The Congolese dollar? I don't know anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you see if we did have a single currency like they have in Europe? What would our EAC shilling look like? What would be the common theme? Because I'm assuming every country would say, hey, I want a piece of me in that kamane. So what would you see in that for security features or whatever it is? What would you see? Would you have Mount Rwenzori for Uganda? Would you have the Maasai?
What's the one thing that unites us? If you're to pick one, besides corruption. Because otherwise you'd have put a picture of a police guy like this. And that cuts across.
Yeah.
Everybody would relate and understand what we're talking about. A Congo, whatever it is. And this part of the pocket is brown.
Yeah.
in and out. Besides that, I don't know.
What would you like to see?
Tourism?
Tourism?
Is that the one thing that unites us?
Or geographical features. Like I said, the Mount Rwenzori, and then in Kenya you have, not Maasai, but like maybe Serengeti.
That's in TZ.
That's right, that's in TZ. That's TZ. Then in Kenya you'd have the
Mara.
The Mara.
So yeah, I think tourism is what would be our biggest, so features from our biggest tourist attractions, I guess. Because I think combined we have the biggest gorilla population in Africa.
Yeah.
Once you combine us and Rwanda.
Yeah.
Combined us and Kenya and Tanzania, I think we have the second biggest lion population, other than Southern Africa.
Actually, South Africa uses the big five in
their notes.
The big five, the lion, the buffalo, Sijui,
And yet I think if we combined, we beat Southern Africa in the big five.
So we copy paste from them and give it to us as well.
No, but now add other things, like a bum.
I knew you were going to say a bum, Marcus. I knew you were going to say a bum.
What unites us? You tell me what the one thing we don't have that other people don't have.
Bums.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I knew it. Oh. But bums from which country?
It doesn't matter. You know, the beauty about us as East Africa, we have that standard bum. Where you're not sure, muna Kenya Muswahili. You can be confused. So there's that unifying bomb that everybody can relate to.
They even put the mom and say, but that one I even know.
Wanna see an Antongo?
You people, you have to go. You really have to go. Listen, welcome to 2023, the last round, and we're going to be doing it all year round right here. We are at Shisanyama Village, one of our other sets over here as well. I want to say a big thank you, of course, to Race City Uganda, who do our editing, and Globe Tech, the camera people, and our crew over here. Merry Happy New Year to all of you, by the way.
May we have a fantastic 2023, guys. We have a lot of work this year. A big thank you to our partners, Tusker Malt Lager and FlexiPay. Remember, you can get your very cold Tusker Malt Lager all over the country and the region. And FlexiPay, where you pay *290 and you go direct from account to account. No withdrawal charges, nothing. It is seamless, it is pain-free, and it's instant. And of course, YouTube Uganda, that's our channel. Go there, search for it. Click on the bell so that you always get alerts. Other than that, we are live on all social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as The Last Round UG. Until next week.
Always drink responsibly.
2023.
I drank it 2023.
Yeah, burns.
But for real, can you imagine the note? Like the big note.
Okay, so you have the big five, which is tourism.
Yes.
Then say all these combined equals
A bomb. And in the middle of the note.
Just maybe you guys will visit us.
The way I'll spend that money. One bomb for you, one bomb for you.
Imagine going to the UK and it's South African shilling.
Yeah.
So this here tells you everything you need to know about our country, our countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this bomb, this part reflects Kenya. This part reflects. They should never about tourism. I can market this thing.
Pozi wano gameka? Bongedde mu bitano boss.
Chikole for less, hakuna hustle, no stress. Whether night or day tulioke, wanga tuli ku FlexiPay.
Don't hustle to pay the bills. Send or receive money. Chikole for less. Ne FlexiPay. Hold it.
Chikole for less with FlexiPay. Dial *291# to transact or download the FlexiPay app to get started. Stanbic Bank. It can be. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, up to 10 million shillings.
Guy, I saw this thing. Some guy asked a question on Twitter. Who is the most respected woman in Uganda? Who would you say is your answer?
The most respected woman
in Uganda. And don't say your wife or your girlfriend or like seriously, who would you consider the most respected?
Me, myself, or what people generally say?
No, what you can give me both. What people most generally say? Mama Janet?
10 to 7.
Okay, and what would you say?
Me personally, the most respected woman in Uganda.
Nabagereka? I've just answered for you, but
Yeah,
that's
you
not where
have.
you
I
have helped you.
was actually going to say that.
No, you are not.
I was.
This was a guy's response. Because the guy asked it on Twitter.
Yeah.
He says, there was a market woman I hired to be my aunt after I'd received the suspension at school to go and bring my parents.
Yes.
When we reached the head teacher's office, they asked her my full names.
Yes.
Yet I had forgotten to tell her when I was hiring her my full names. So she looked at me, then looked at the head teacher, looked at me again, and gave me a hot slap.
Hey.
Then told them, "Nkusasulire school fees. Namanya gonga gulire." She shouted, "Please don't kill him." That's what the head teacher said. The guy said, "Mukazi gwe, wona woli ofune emikisa." I slapped the guy, says, "I pay for your school fees, and I also tell you your name." Stupid. The woman didn't know the guy's name because the guy had not briefed her. The guy said, "Woman, where you are, please be blessed.
And I'm going to give you more money.
Please, 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 please."
I'll say
Because it's someone who thinks like that on the fly.
boss. Boss.
Looked at it and said, "Bah! Nkusasule school fees ngaru. Nkusasule nango mama nyagonga bulide."
You even start crying, real tears.
Then Bambi, the head teacher said, "No, don't kill the boy.
kill the guy.
In fact, he's okay. Let him come back. He's okay. He's learned his lesson." Case closed. I will cheer to that woman.
Let's cheer to
Market
her.
woman.
Market
meanwhile,
woman.
Wherever you are.
Nalongo.